up guys, my name is Noams. I've been pursuing audio engineering and music production for the past 12 years of my life, and I've made a lot of mistakes. So I'm here to answer some questions that the music production community on Reddit might have. This is video number 1 of this series, so if you like it, pop a like down there. If you don't, let me know what I can do better. So here's today's question. Publishing different types of music. Should I create 2 different artist accounts or stick with one? This is a great question, and this is something that I've struggled with for many years of my life. So here's the entire question. Hey, just wondering what you guys think, maybe even from experience, which way is better in your opinion? I make indie folk, pop, rock, and some kind of neo-classical music. Classical music mixed with tape loops. And now I'm wondering how to publish. Is it better to create 2 different artist accounts, each for the respective genre, or just stick with one artist identity and just release different kinds of projects? I've seen both Fred Again, who makes EDM and neoclassic, or Novo Amor, who combines similar genres, indie folk, rock, and ambient, and just puts them on different albums, just like Fred Again does with EDM/classical. I can't decide which way to go, so I wondered if anyone here maybe has had the same issue and now maybe even some experience with the choice they made. If not, I'm just interested in your opinion. Now my friend Real Kanye West, is that right? I do have a lot of experience with this, and let's talk about that now. So when I got to this post, there were already 3 comments, all of which saying to have different artist accounts for each style, and I totally get where they're coming from. I happen to be someone who likes to keep all of my music under the same artist name, and I have been doing that for the past about 10 years. So I'm gonna come from the approach of what are the pros and cons of separating? Because everything that's a pro for separating your artist projects is gonna be a con for the keeping everything under one, and whatever's a pro for keeping it. You get the idea. First pro, separating your artist projects can make it very easy to brand and market. It is very easy to say, I am a blank artist, I make this music, if you like this music, come listen to me. Then if a listener likes what they hear, they'll come back, they know what to expect from that artist. I would say this is the biggest reason why people separate their artist projects, but it can also lead to other complications. The con that comes with that is that it can be very creatively limiting because, you know, if you are right now making more than one style of music and you decide to separate those projects, at some point you might want to, deviate from those styles, and then do you just create more and more artist projects for each style you want to do? Because the more artist projects you have, basically the less work that can go into any singular artist project. If you keep everything under one name, all of your work goes to moving one artist forward and to really being the most creative artist that you can be. You're always balancing how much effort you can put into any single project because the energy of one doesn't help the other. Whereas if you have one artist project, every single release moves you forward, and each thing that you do in any style helps the music in the other styles too. Which leads me to the other pro for keeping things under one artist project / con for separating your artist project, which is that people end up following your sound and not you as an artist. And this is what really made me stick to keeping everything under one artist project, because I wanted people to follow me because I am a producer that creates interesting things and creates new styles and hybridizations. I don't want people just following me because I make this sound, and then when I change or vary from that sound, that whole listener base leaves and I've got to completely rebuild. Whereas if I start from day one saying, hey, everything's going to be under this artist project, and you might not get the same thing over and over again, but it'll be something very interesting, it'll be something creative that you can't get from anyone else, and it's all gonna be right here. Then those people know that they're following you, the artist, not following a sound. It's been hard for me to find any more pros to separating your artist project other than the fact that it can be fun to have multiple artist projects and see which one does better, do experiments with each one, and kind of have fun having two different things that at any given point, one of them could, go viral or blow up. Or I do want to say real quick though that there is a lot of validity to having separate artist projects, especially if, say, one is in a style that you really think needs to stay consistent. Like maybe it's a certain style of electronic, or it's rock music, and you know that rock fans are just gonna love this rock music, and that's just where that's gonna be. And then maybe you have another artist project where you can release the rest of your, creations that are hybridized and all those other things. And honestly, at any given point, you can decide that any one of these separate artist projects could be something new. It could be, oh, this was a rock project, but now it's a hybrid rock project with cinematic influence and, ambient intros. At any given point, you can, change your mind, and then that's kind of where having two separate artist projects can be kind of fun, because then, you can choose which one you want to be creative with and which one can be kind of like a business venture. Or, there is a lot of creativity to having multiple artist projects, but I do think that the music world is kind of heading in a direction where people like following an artist for that person being the center of this creation, not so much a sound, because the sound, again, makes branding and marketing easy, but it's a very capitalistic, consumerist approach. Whereas I feel like where art is moving, especially with AI that can make, a million tracks in a certain style that's already been created, the humanity and what makes you like really different is gonna be what people really connect to and really grasp onto. So that's why I, again, like the idea of combining all of the artist projects, because then people can see the humanity and they're embracing the multidimensionality of an artist. Now, another con for separating your artist project is that it doesn't really allow the listener to follow your progress. I like my listeners to be able to come into my discography and see all the different things that have led to each project. And it's allowed me to be even more creative because I don't feel like I have to stay in any one realm. I can keep expanding, and it doesn't detract from my audience because my audience is already primed to know that they're not gonna get any one sound. They're gonna get music from this artist that, nobody else is making. The other thing is that even if you make different styles, sometimes the listener can find parallels between your songs that you don't even see. Like many times, even if there are two songs of different styles, people will come to me and tell me that they can hear that this song and this song are produced by me just by the audio signatures that I put in as the artist of the song, that I didn't even put in intentionally, but because I was creating it, that consistency is there. They both sound like my tracks because I made them. And that's, kind of a beauty that sometimes you can't see if you separate those artist projects, because again, then each one has to be in its own sound, and it's harder to see the overlap of what brings a consistency to all of your productions, because the differences are really what's being focused on. Some artists that I look up to for this are Childish Gambino. He's been all over the place when it comes to his musical style, but he's the artist. He's also multidisciplinary in that he works in film and he works in music and he works in, writing, and he brings all of these together under Donald Glover and Childish Gambino. Now, two separate projects, but I just want to, point out that when it comes to the music, he is keeping it all under one name. Another artist I love for this, Skrillex. Starting out as the dubstep king and expanding out to so many electronic genres and collaborating with artists in many different genres from pop to rock, always keeping the Skrillex name. So everybody knows that he's the one that's a part of this track. Even if it's a different style, they can follow this multidimensional person. And I think that, again, seeing the multidimensionality of a person and seeing that an artist isn't just, this one thing really brings a listener closer to that artist. Now finally, the last con to separating the artist projects to me is that your audience can get bored, I believe. I like to keep things fresh. I like to move around. I like to have my audience not really know where I'm gonna go next, because again, I want them to follow me, the artist, not any certain sound. Because I know that the people who follow me as an artist are gonna be the ones that really buy merch and that are really invested in the projects. It's not gonna be the people that are there for, a certain sound. It's gonna be the ones that are emotionally caught by this music and that realize that it's, not something that they can find anywhere else. But you have to sift through the people that are just there for a certain sound to find those fans that really, really care about whatever the beautiful thing is that you have to bring. Well, I'd say that's about it. That about caps it all off. But I will end this with whatever makes you unique, whatever makes you different, lean into that and move towards that. Whatever you love doing, whatever crazy thing that you bring, keep doing that and keep following that, because that is your superpower. Lastly, if you're trying to move forward in music production efficiently, one of the most important things that I wish that I had when I started 12 years ago was a mentor, somebody that I could meet with weekly or monthly in order to check in and see what I needed to work on, get feedback from, and really use to hone my skills quicker. And that's why I've started doing private lessons over Zoom and in person here in LA. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can comment below or go to my website at noamsmusic.com and we will meet. You can schedule a 15-minute free consultation there, just, so that we can talk and see if that's something that would really help you. So yeah, if that's something that you think would help, hit me up and let's work. Last thing I'll say is stay creative, my friends, and keep doing your thing. Peace.